I ranked every kill in every Final Destination movie, including the new one and Final Destination Bloodlines, and I will be counting the premonitions from each movie as one kill. So let's start with the first movie and the first premonition, which I think is really overrated. I get it was ahead of its time and it created the whole franchise, but it never really had an impact on me compared to the future premonitions. At the end of the day, it's just a plain explosion. Not bad, but not great. I will put it in tier B. Todd's death is actually pretty good in my opinion. I really like how they make his eyes bloody in the end. Just an overall solid kill. I will put it in B tier. Terry's death is honestly one of my favorites. I love how it comes out of nowhere. It's fun to see people's first reaction to this kill. It deserves to be in the A tier. The teacher Valerie is next when Death makes a whole big sequence to lead up to her death. I personally don't like it because it drags on for a little too long and most of it doesn't make sense. I know these aren't supposed to be that serious, but this kill just took me so out of the movie, unlike previous deaths. So I'll put this kill in tier D. Billy's death is really great since we don't see it coming, and it is rather gory. I also appreciate how they foreshadowed it in the beginning of the movie. That's why I will put it in tier A. Charter's death is an okay kill because they didn't really show it. They ended the movie right when he was about to die. So we had to imagine how he would have died, but I would have preferred to have actually seen the kill. I'll put it in tier D. The main character, Alex, doesn't die in the first movie. He actually dies off screen in the second movie. They mention his death in a news article. He died from a brick hitting his head in just an awful way to kill the star of the first movie. Leave it up for interpretation that he might still be alive. It deserves to be an F tier. Now in the second movie, the premonition is one of the best in the whole series. It's so horrific seeing the characters die in brutal ways, like the police officer Thomas Burke getting a giant tree log bashed through his head while he's driving. So traumatic, it traumatized a whole generation to the point where no one wants to drive anywhere near a truck carrying tree logs. That's why it has to go into S tier. Evan's death is really good. I like the build up. It doesn't drag like the teacher's death in the first movie. It also has a gory kill when the ladder pierces through his eye. I'll put it in a tier. Tim's death is pretty brutal too, if not even more brutal. When his body got smashed like a soda can, it was tough to watch. I'll put it in a tier as well. Tim's mother, Nora, has a tragic death when she gets her head stuck between the elevator door and gets her head cut clean off. It's a good death, but not as brutal as her son's death. I'll put it in B tier. Kat has an okay death when she gets hit by the airbag, causing her to bash her head through the sharp pipe behind her. I'll put it in B tier. Rory's death is really good. I like the creativity and the goriness of it. It has to go into A tier. Eugene and Claire both die at the same time from a fire explosion. It's a pretty weak way to kill both of the characters because we really grew to like them, and the kill has some bad CGI. I have to put it in D tier. Brian's death is a bit silly and a funny way to end the movie, so I'll put it in B tier. The premonition in the third movie is pretty good. I like some of the kills in it, but it's not as good as the second movie, but it is better than the first movie, so I'll put it in a tier. Ashlyn and Ashley's death is really good. I like how realistic it looks. I also really like the transition from the tanning beds to their caskets. This kill goes into tier A. Frankie's death is just as brutal. It's a quick kill with not that much build-up, and when it happens is brutal. I'll put it in A tier as well. We have another gory kill with Lewis, who gets his head smashed by weight plates. This kill was really graphic and gory. It has to go into tier A. This movie has a lot of good and brutal kills, like Erin, who gets her head shot multiple times by a nail gun. It's a pretty impactful kill. I really felt every nail shoot into her head. I have to put it in A tier too. It's that good. Perry has a mediocre death. She just gets her chest impaled by a flagpole. Also, she's barely even in the movie, and it's not as gory or creative as the previous kills, so I'll put it in tier C. Ian has a really good brutal kill when he gets crushed by a cherry picker. It's pretty graphic when they show his guts and body parts, and it's funny how he is flipping off Wendy even though he's dead. This kill has to go into A tier. Wendy gets another premonition. This time it's with a train. This premonition is pretty good, but not as good as the roller coaster one, so I'll put it in B tier. Now the premonition does end up becoming a reality. Wendy, Julie, and Kevin do end up dying, so I'll put them together with the premonition in tier B. The premonition in the fourth movie is pretty bad, mainly because of the overuse of CGI in almost every kill. Also, the premonition is basically caused by wind. It's just an overall bad premonition that has to go into D tier. Nadia dies after a car's tire smashes into her head. It's a pretty nice kill that comes out of nowhere, but It's not as graphic as the kills in tier A, so I'll put it in tier B. Charter's death is pretty good. I like the fire stunt. Thankfully they didn't use more CGI because it looks really good with the stuntman being caught on fire and dragged through the street, but it's just not as graphic or gory as the kills in tier A, so I'll put it in tier B. Another soiled kill that's not gory or graphic is Samantha, who gets a rock launched from a lawnmower go straight through her eye. It is a nice kill but not graphic enough to be in tier A. I'll put it in tier B. The next kill is probably one of the worst of the whole franchise. It's so dumb and unrealistic, it also looks awful with the terrible CGI. It's a goofy kill that's not meant to be goofy because the characters and the tone of the movie treat it like a serious kill. It's just not a good kill. I think I have to put it in F tier. Tell me in the comments if it deserved to be in F tier. Hunt's death is actually really good compared to the other deaths in this movie. It's very creative, a little gory, and it's a really impactful death that makes you afraid to get in a pool again. The only thing I don't like is the CGI blood in the end. I'll put it in a tier. Jonathan dies next when he gets crushed by a bathtub while trying to crawl away. It's a pretty basic kill, not graphic or gory, so I'll put it in tier C. There's another premonition, and at least this one is really good. It's not full of awful CGI shots. I like the theater explosion and Lori getting her leg caught into the escalator. Overall, it's a really good premonition. I will put it in tier A. George gets run over by an ambulance. It's an out of nowhere kill, but it feels like they just tried to copy the bus kill from the first movie, so this kill feels cheap. I will put it in tier C. The final 3 characters die when they get run over by a semi-truck. It's a decent way to end the movie. I'll put it in B tier. The premonition of the 5th movie is really good. It's just as good as the one in the 2nd movie. It has CGI, but at least this CGI is better. I like the way the bridge collapses, and I love all the kills. They are all graphic and gory. It has to go into S tier. Now this kill might make some of you angry because I have to rank it in S tier. It is my favorite kill out of the whole franchise. It has amazing suspense, great gore, very graphic, and leaves you traumatic. I had to walk away for a second after seeing this kill for the first time. It has to go into S tier. Now Isaac has a really nice death when he falls to the floor and a statue falls on him, smashing his head in a nice gory way. I'll put this kill in a tier. Olivia's death is pretty good. It's kind of graphic with the eye laser, but that wasn't what killed her. It was her falling to her death from the window onto a car. I will put this kill in B tier. Roy has a pretty graphic death when he gets impaled through his chin and head from a lifting hook. It's an okay kill and will go into tier B. Dennis dies immediately after a wrench gets launched towards his head. It's a pretty weak and lazy kill. I'll put it in C tier. The next kill is Agent Block, who gets shot multiple times in the back by Peter. It's not a graphic or gory kill, but it's also not the worst kill, so I'll put it in C tier. Peter's death is a pretty good kill. He gets stabbed through his back by Sam with a large meat cutter. I'll put the kill in B tier. Now Sam and Molly's death is also one of my favorites because of the amazing twist that reveals the movie was a prequel to the first movie. It blew my mind when I first saw the twist. The kills themselves are pretty good and sad. Nathan is the last kill when the wheel from the plane crushes him to death. I'll put this in B tier. I just wish the final shot of the movie was Sam and Molly's last moments together. The newest premonition from the franchise is the Skyview restaurant. It's an amazing premonition. It has a lot of great memorable kills and a lot of gore, and it has some very traumatic kills. It has to go into S tier. The next kill is Iris, who gets impaled through her head by a weather direction pole. The CGI doesn't look great, but it still has good gore and it's pretty graphic, so I will put it in B tier. Howard's death is really good. I like the build-up that leads to his death. Also, it's very bloody and graphic. I will put it in A tier. Julia's death is pretty goofy and unrealistic, but still pretty gory and graphic, so I'll put it in B tier. Eric's death is the complete opposite. His death is very graphic and brutal. It's very hard to watch. It's very creative and really cool. One of my new favorite kills. I have to put it next to my other favorite kill. It has to go into S tier. His brother Bobby dies next when he gets impaled through his head from a vending machine spring. It's not that gory or graphic, so I'll put it in B tier. The next kill I don't like seems lazy and weak. It's not gory, graphic, or creative. It's just basic. I'll put it in C tier. Stephanie and Charlie's death is pretty good. I like the way they ended it with a nice callback to the second movie with the giant tree logs crushing them. I'll put the kills in a tier. And that is the final kill in all the Final Destination movies. Comment where you would rank these kills. Please like and subscribe to Movie Gods to be a god.